I will not lie. There is entitlement in Gen Z more than other generations. However, that does not outweigh the amount of innocent, hardworking, ambitious young people that are being cooked.
With the rise of AI dating, as they call it, which is...
Yes, this is a real problem, by the way. The majority of young people are just dating VTubers. That's why women won't cuff them. This is real news, by the way. This is a real news organization.
Two middle-aged scoozies complain about young men not wanting to work or do anything after everything was taken from them on the nationally syndicated news network Fox News. Now, as a young man, I don't tend to watch the news that much. I get my news from anonymous online posters.
You know how easy it is to say that young people are lazy and entitled, and that's why they don't want to work, while ignoring everything macro that has changed about the world that we live in versus the world that they live in. The boomers complaining about young people not wanting to work when they had it 1,000 times easier in terms of working. Dude, your best bet now, if you're a young person, is to get me sponsors and take a cut. If you're a young person, the most money you're gonna make is finding sponsorships for Acheeto and then taking 10% for a finder's fee. Doing real jobs is not it's not sustainable anymore. You cannot make burgers at Wendy's and afford a home. You're fucked. And that is the sad reality. It's not about how hard you're working.
The tasteful way. But, you know, every once in a while something comes across my field of vision, I go, wow. And, you know, whenever two childless women in their 30s and 40s want to lecture me about what I'm doing wrong, I perk my ears up, I sit my black ass down, and I listen. So this is called The Rise of Stay-at-Home Sons. Now, I've talked about stuff like this before, but let's see what these two snow bunnies have to say about it.
But I'll tell you this, leave it to Gen Z to rebrand laziness and social awkwardness as something cutesy, like a stay-at-home son. They did much the same thing.
It's not social awkwardness. These people are clueless. It's not social awkwardness. Being a stay-at-home son and not moving out is not because you're too awkward. Maybe I handshake for too long. Sorry, am I looking at you weirdly? It's not about that. It isn't people that are inept and jittery that are unable to afford a home, okay? It is normal people, normal guys who are victims of this economy, who are victims of the rising price of a house, the cost of living, the cost of breathing, the cost of everything going up, and wages remaining stagnant and in some cases decreasing, or them being replaced with AI or Indians.
With quiet quitting, where you can go to work and do less, and if you call it quiet quitting, it's somehow better. But Laura, I gotta tell you, this is also a big problem.
Mind you, these people don't work real jobs either. This is not a real job. They're doing the same thing that I'm doing, where they're talking to a mic about the world, okay? You don't have a real job. I don't have a real job either, but I would certainly never turn around and criticize people who are struggling. If you're struggling, you have my support. I wish you the best, and I know how bad it can feel to have the economy suffocate you and choke you and beat you while you're down relentlessly. You forgot to censor job? Oh, my bad.
When it comes to, I think, declining birth rates, people not getting married and having children, you know, that's a big problem. They blame it on...
Okay, yeah. No, that makes sense. Getting married and having children. You know, most people can't even afford to move out of their own home. So how would you expect them to not only support themselves, but a partner and children? These people are clueless, and the fact that they don't get it really shows you the boomer plight. This is the boomer mind virus. They are unable to conceptualize Gen Z struggling beyond the fact of laziness and wokeness and incompetence or whatever. That's it. It's sad.
On women. Well, look at what young women have to choose from. The pickings are slim.
Yes, young women. It's the guy's fault. It's the guy's fault because... Holy fuck, dude, we're so fucked. The pickings are slim. Young women can't choose from men.
Well, look at what young women have to choose from. The pickings are slim. Yes, we might have a feminism problem in America, but it's the feminization of men.
Yes. This shit is so clueless, so removed from reality that it feels like it's a parody. The women, they have these feminized men to choose from. You do understand that because of the economy sucking dick and balls, causing people to live with their parents to save money, that they are still as masculine as they were prior to the economy being shit. What? This has nothing to do with gender roles or masculinity or femininity. And it has everything to do with elites, the ruling class. You look at the current climate of the jobs market, of the housing market. Brother, I mean, I could spam buzzwords all day. You understand the point that I'm trying to make. You can look around and the conclusion writes itself. It is a priori. Your eyes are open and you're reaching the same conclusion as me. It's bad.
There are a lot of young women out
You know how hard it is to get a fucking call back? Dude, I was applying for jobs 3 years ago. I was like 16 or 17. I literally, I think submitted like over, it may have been triple digit job applications. Sorry, I can't censor job. I think I had sent triple digit applications to companies over the summer to work for. Chipotle, Kava, all at Starbucks. And I got a call back from I think 2 or 3. 2 or 3. 3%. And it's my fault. And I'm feminine. And it's the feminization of men.
out there that want to get married, they want to have kids, they want to have stable families, but there are a lot of young men
And you know how many I worked for? 0, because they all wanted someone who would work for more than just the summer.
out there who want to live in mama's basement and order DoorDash, and therein lies a big part of the problem.
What a great straw man. What a great straw man. What a great imaginary person that you made up to criticize as an umbrella generalization of the struggling Gen Z class. Yes, 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 yes. I will not lie. There are entitled Gen Zers that think they should be given government whatever bullshit like subsidies, having a job where they stand around and do nothing all day and get paid. That exists. There is entitlement in Gen Z more than other generations. However, that does not outweigh the amount of innocent, hardworking, ambitious young people that are being cooked.
Well, and also
No, I order Grubhub. Yeah.
with the rise of AI and AI dating, as they call it, which is sick.
Yes, this is a real problem, by the way. The majority of young people are just dating VTubers. That's why women won't cuff them.
It's going to be even easier and perhaps more attractive for these types of individuals.
This is real fucking news, by the way. This is a real news organization. Yeah, the main thing we should really be concerned about, on the top of the list of concerns, is that men will start dating robots. That's the problem, guys. Don't you see? This is news. This is news. This is turning boomers' brains into fucking soup.
Remain behind closed doors. And what does that do
I
to
thought it was because about feminization, not AI. It's the same thing in their opinion.
families and young women and dating?
So now you got people that
Bro, since Tucker left, this organization has bit the curb hard. A Tuckerless Fox News is a shithole.
want to literally stay inside and play video games and have AI girlfriends, and that's why we have declining birth rates and a lot of other problems.
That's why, yes. Yes, the reason that we have declining birth rates is not because men are... Yes. Oh my god! How clueless can you be? How clueless can you be? Yes, dude, the reason that we're single in Gen Z, and the reason that we're not making money in Gen Z is because of AI girlfriends and video games. Shut the fuck up. You know nothing.
in society. It's time to go out, get a job, breathe the fresh air, meet people in real life.
Yes, yes! You nailed it! You nailed it. You nailed it. That's what it is. That's what it is. Put down the games and put down the AI girlfriends and then problem solve. Then we'll get, yes, yes, it's that simple! You solved it! You cracked the code! It's been this simple the whole time. No, I'm so serious when I say you have a better bet of keeping the video games on and then just streaming yourself playing it and making more money that way. I clown on Streamer University. You have your best bet about getting out of the fucking trap is staying home and ordering the most DoorDash you can imagine, then just going live, okay? No, I'm not joking either. I'm literally not joking.
Let's just get back to
Because look at me, right? 3% return rate on job applications. Sorry, trigger warning. And none of them wanted to hire me. Trust me, I'm qualified enough to make fucking burritos. And yet streaming and making content was the easiest thing I've ever had to do, and it pays way more. Why would I ever?
basics.
All right. Very, very interesting stuff here. So a lot of young men are dropping out, giving up, and not working. This is no secret. What does Fox News have to say about it? It's because...
It's victim blaming.
They say, young men are feminized. They're just being bitches. The feminism problem, she says, is the feminization of men. There are lots of young women out there who want to start families. But there are lots of young men out there who just want to sit in mommy's basement and order DoorDash. This is also why there's declining birth rates, they say, because men are just these losers. Now, the first thing is some of this is just completely false. Most young men want to have children. Most young women do not. It's like 40% of young women that want to have children and 60% of young men. That's pretty crazy. That's from Pew Research. I've done a video about it before. Our survey finds that young adults who have never been married say they want to get married someday. A smaller share say they would like to have children someday. Young men are more likely than young women to say they want to have children. 57% versus 45%. And this difference is actually even greater because we have this not sure section over here. Right. Where women said not sure more, 4%. So if you tally all that together, it's a 16% difference. That's pretty significant. Less than half of young women say they want to have kids. I'm no zoologist, but if you know how nature works, males display and women choose. This is the case with humans. The choosers don't want to have children. So that's why there's declining birth rate, because these hoes are fried. They're operating under this wacky assumption that these hoes aren't fried. Now, there are some good chicks out there. There are some good quality broads, some good hus, some good quality thotties. But, I mean, you may as well be looking for an Asian. You may as well be looking for an Asian at, like, wherever Asians
careful.
Don't really go.
Well, speaking of passport, bro, why do you think that's on the rise?
You may as well be looking for, like, a Vietnamese basketball player.
What?
One might exist, but I don't know. And here's a little black pill about, that 40% of young women who do want kids, the trad girls. There's no real trad anymore. They're on the internet. So even the ones that want families, they're going to be much more selective, much more hypergamous than an actual woman from a century ago. Men aren't giving up on work just because they're lazy bums who want to sit at home playing with a worm and ordering DoorDash. They're doing that because they can't get jobs. Okay, here's why men are not working. It's very simple. There's no incentive structure. The money's not worth anything. You can't buy a house with it. Men used to be able to support a whole family off one income. Now they can't even support their own damn self. I mean, they could get by, but not enough to actually build wealth or own anything. It's paycheck to paycheck, basically. Saving little pennies. Oh, put it in the S&P. In 30 years, maybe you'll have some. In 30 years, who knows what shit's going to look like in 30 fucking years. Are you kidding me? Can't build wealth, the dating market.
Yeah, this whole notion of just like, penny pinching and stacking it and putting it in the stock market. And so just like at some point later on, you'll have money. Oh my God. And yeah, in 30 years, we're done. In 30 years, we've been colonized by Mars. In 30 years, the AIs are owning us. I mean, it's like we're done. What do you think is going to happen in 2050?
Market is broken. They're not working for a family. If you don't meet somebody young, if you don't meet somebody in like a very social environment, you could try asking a girl at work. That could go bad. If not, you have to use all these dating apps. That's a nightmare. Also, like half the jobs are slop. They don't even do anything. That's not even a joke. But even if
the jobs are literally slop. It's like these weird like email jobs, like being a consultant, scanning the card that gets me into the gym. None of this shit's real. Dude, it's not real work. You're not actually making anything. And I'm not making anything! I'm a streamer! I'm lucky. You think people who are doing real work are like real work are actually, it's all slop. It's all slop. And they want us to eat bugs. I hate it. I hate all of it. But it's the feminization of men. Yes, of course. That's the problem. The pickings are slim. Yeah.
If that wasn't true, the job market itself, young men can't get a job. They're being replaced by women, by imported people.
Yes.
Take their jobs away, then go, why aren't you working? You're being a bitch. What do you mean? You took the job. The only jobs you can reliably get are like labor, like hard labor, that many women won't do. But then you're out here working, breaking your back, still not to be able to build actual wealth. If you're paying rent, if you're paying for all this stuff. Some of these manual jobs you can make above 6 figures, but that's Like, that used to be rich. Now that's just what you need
Right.
to be able to actually.
Yeah, I mean, the whole problem is that, like, six figures, I feel like a six-figure income used to be, like, ridiculously high, and people would look at that and their jaw would be like, wow, you're rich, six figures. Now, I feel like six figures is middle class for a family. For a family, I'm adding, right? If you are making, like I'm not, like, six figures, like, low six figures, like $100,000, if you have a boyfriend or girlfriend and children, or sorry, like a wife and kids, six figures is going to feel like middle class.
Purchase.
I've done the math.
And even then, you still have to somehow contend with meeting women when you're just working with dudes at what, like a construction site all day.
It sucks.
Trying to meet a girl and then building a family after all day. It's just like a crazy line of hoops you have to jump through just for shit that should be normal.
It's time
For a family, six figures, like 100 to 150K for the whole family. Yeah, it's like middle or lower middle. Yeah, over $100,000 fucking dollars, and it's middle.
go out, get a job, breathe the fresh air, meet people.
How do you get that? How do you get that?
In real life? Let's just get
It's
back
not
to
doable.
basics.
That's gone. All these conservatives have to offer is this normalcy bias.
Yes.
Just giving this same, like,
100%.
browbeating men repeated advice for an order that has vanished a long time ago. You can't just tell young men to work when they won't get anything out of it. What are you doing? They can't offer anything real, any actual advice. They just got to keep on working, keep on doing these things, even though the moral duty, responsibility of a man to work is tied to authority, to things you get. Mm-hmm. Purchasing power and a family.
Freedom. And you don't get freedom from working. You get the opposite now. The idea is you get a sacrifice. You're sacrificing your time to get freedom. You're sacrificing short-term freedom for long-term freedom. Now you don't get that. So why would you ever make that sacrifice? You're giving something to get nothing.
If you don't have these things...
The real freedom you're going to get now, ironically, unless you have a crazy good job, is just being at home with the fam. And being 30, like home-cooked meals. Your parents already stacked enough money from when it was good. I mean, and I hate to say that, but it's like...
This is very simple. Why would you work if these things are harder to get? If all these things are just like impossible mode, nightmare difficulty, people are just going to be like, fuck it. So men aren't dropping out of the workforce because they prefer just sitting at home gooning and ordering DoorDash. They're doing that because they've said fuck it. Like they've tried, or they've looked around and they've seen things and they've gone, it's just like not worth it. You have to try 100 times harder for a very small results. So this whole men aren't working because of this feminization, that's an interesting angle. It's an interesting rhetorical angle. These conservatives, like they don't look at the actual underlying problems. Oh, they're just doing it because they're lazy. Why are they lazy? Why do they feel so demoralized? Right. There are real serious...
Where is the lack of ambition actually coming from? Because the reward isn't worth it.
Underlying things going on here. Can you just go out, get a job, get a wife, get a house? Can you just get back to basics? The option is actually gone. So this feminization, oh, you're being feminine, is a tool they use. It doesn't make sense because being a man isn't valued. You be a man and you work harder for nothing. And I would watch very closely this rhetoric. If by happenstance we stumbled, whoopsie, into a war, and young men haven't been signing up for the military, and they say, we need these people, we need to draft, we need to go to war. This same card's going to be pulled out. Oh, you're being feminine. They're going to do that. Here's another one. I had saved. Stay-at-home sons here to stay.
Some time how Democrats have alienated young men. Okay, now speaking of young men, my own sons better tune this out. A Wall Street Journal headline got our attention. The new dream job for young men, stay-at-home son. Stay-at-home sons. It might be an improvement. Don't we keep hearing, Smug, of like stay-at-home 30-year-olds? Like dudes that haven't moved out by the time. This is 20 to 24-year-olds. I'm not as concerned about them as I am as the failure to launch 30-year-olds, which I think that's also a real thing. Like, grow up, get a job, get a wife, build a family.
That's the whole thing. That sequence of events, which is just normal, the normal life, is like a Herculean feat.
Yeah. How? Just do it. Just make $500,000 a year. Just get a wife and 3 kids. Just live in a great, like, by doing what? By going into ridiculous debt to get a fucking medical degree to be a neurosurgeon? They promised us normalcy, then destroyed it? Yeah. These fucking retards doing the podcast are making the kind of money that they're expecting you to make because they have a lucky, stupid, fake job. It's not possible. To make that kind of money, you have to, like, it's neurosurgeon money. Neurosurgeons are going to make high to low 6 to 7 figures, okay? They're going to be making like $500,000 to like 300. No, it's like $400K to like $2 million, okay? On the low end, on the high end. A lot of variance, but on average, a lot of money. That's 10 fucking years, sleepless nights, crippling debt. Just do it, bro. Just do it, bro. And then get a wife, bro. So just removed from reality, this shit.
In 2025. And this is for serious foundational reason.
I'll give them a little bit of grace. There was a statistic that came out. It was in the journal. I want to say it was about a month ago that 90% of positions that went to companies in the S&P 500 went to non-white males in this country over the past 5 years. Yep. That was stunning to me. It's
shocker. They take lower wages.
Stunning. And the reason for that is because we had an era of DEI, which was pushed, and it was basically excluding. There's a reason why Democrats are like, why can't we communicate to this group? It's not a communication issue. It's a policy issue. You demonized a group of people. You told them they weren't wanted. And so I see this as somewhat of an outgrowth of that. So I can give a little bit of grace. At the same time, that era is being wiped clean. You have an administration that believes in, for the first time,
but okay, it's wiped clean, and now what? Magically, life is affordable again. Like now, it's on easy mode.
Talking equal opportunity. Can you believe that?
Really?
Everyone on the same footing. Best person wins the job. But I think when you see this administration, you see the policies. It's already gotten the economy going. It's got people excited. I think young men aren't going to have to worry about being stay-at-home sons. They're going to be out there getting it done.
Let's hope that's true. Let's hope it is true that it's.
All right. Well, that's just kind of like political slop. Oh, the DEI took away the jobs, and now Trump's back to save everything. Oh, he's going to get rid of it. Over half a century of constant inflation, multiple financial crashes, BlackRock, 2020 pandemic, constant war machine, birth rate completely falling off a cliff around 15, 20 years ago, mass immigration, the internet messing with dating. Hey, guys, we just fixed DEI. Hey, your dog ran out the front door and he got hit by a car, but I closed the door now, so it's good. What the fuck are you talking about? And
literally.
I mean, this is getting political, but I'm reacting to Fox, so it is what it is. This is disingenuous because the tech people that are all over Trump's whole thing, they want to import workers very clearly. Like all this.
Yeah, that was the whole H-1B visa argument. The whole thing that Elon supported was to make it so that, like, people primarily from India who are taking less money are allowed to be given citizenship in America to work for tech companies. This is fundamentally replacing native-born Americans. And so the idea that, like, well, but DEI is gone. Oh, okay. That's awesome, bro. You cut off one finger of the beast. The beast is still a problem, and it's still causing rampant issues for young men in this country specifically. But hey, we cut off its finger. Go work now. It's not that easy. And I gotta say, I don't want to be that guy, but it is like, it's easy for you to say. I feel like this is the boomer equivalent of the streaming is harder than your 9 to 5. Feel me on that? The people that are saying like streaming is harder than a 9 to 5. You're just doing the boomer equivalent of that, my boy.
News, it's like a half-truth, okay? It's not like they're just completely fabricating things. There is some truth to what is said in the level of comfort that we now have access to in the postmodern world and how it does neuter men. Now, it's one thing to say that these men are dropping
Men just
out
want to
and not
disable GF to make them a sandwich. True.
doing anything because of it. If there were real gain to be had in the real world, we would not see this level of detachment and escapism from young men. But there is no doubt that it does neuter you, and the world kind of caters in a toxic way to this neat lifestyle. You do not have to go outside. You can order everything.
Yes.
You have all
and those are the people making the most money.
These copes.
The owners and the people who are making that sort of stuff.
You can simulate social interaction. It's all there. In any other time, if men were subject to this level of, like, being completely made.
And they bring up AI girlfriends like it's the guy's fault that they're like being addicted to it. I do think that largely it's your choice to goon to an AI girlfriend, but let's not act like this was a problem that anyone would have had to have 20 years ago. That's just like modernity, okay? Like that's the modern time. That's a problem that now exists that that same person wouldn't have had to deal with, you know? And so I do think that there is some accountability, and I do think ultimately it's your choice to goon to AI girls. But let's not act like it isn't addictive or that it's something that can be, you know, fulfilling for people who have had problems with women before. You know, it's very easy to victim blame, and in a way, they are victims. It's true; they're a victim of their time in every way imaginable.
Inviolable, this level of disenfranchisement, I guess you could call it. It would not last long. Like, shit would go down. The only reason this hasn't happened is because of these copes that take men's balls away. They take away the fire. Let's say you're sitting at a poker table. You don't have great...
At what age does your opinion of barrier to the workforce entry become irrelevant? I'm hearing boomers have irrelevant opinions, and this because they entered too long ago. Let me see. Hold on. At what age does your opinion of barrier to entry to workforce become irrelevant? I'm not sure I understand your question. I'm going to be honest. I think maybe I'm just not reading it properly. Are you saying that, like, at what age should you get a job? I would say, like, 20s. You should start making money.
You find out the game...
Maybe earlier. When you start wanting things that your parents aren't going to give you, then yeah.
Game is rigged. What today's men do... And they go, oh no, I'm just going to keep on folding. And they pull out their phone and they just like doom scroll or whatever. In the past, what would have happened when the men found out the game is rigged, they would have flipped the tape. I'm not saying crash out. Here's what I'm saying. While it does make sense to not participate in this thing that doesn't care about you, that doesn't get you anything, that is excessive work for little reward.
Basically, when do you think the barrier to the workforce no longer matters? Like, how old would you have to be? Let's see, wait, hold on. Like, they're saying, yeah, you entered the workforce when a house costed $50. When I entered the workforce, getting a job wasn't difficult, but I'm 30. That's irrelevant now? Oh, yeah. Like, yeah. Like, you played on easy mode. Like, respectfully.
That was promised in the past, but is no longer at all promised now. I understand that. But to forego all of that to then just like constantly cope with video games and pornography and this AI stuff and Uber Eats and shit to your house, like you are just building this escapist hell. These things do not...
Yeah, he's right. He's 100% right. Anyway, I think I got what I wanted to get out of that video. Good video, great video. That's Gerbert Johnson, guys. Go support this guy. He makes great content.